The New Age is a 1994 film written and directed by Michael Tolkien, and it stars Peter Weller as Peter and Judy Davis as Katherine. And honestly, I loved in fact, the characters, but I really didn't care for the narrative. Well, that's not true. As a concept, I didn't mind it, but the execution was not interesting to me. But maybe that's not a fair thing to say because I don't really care for New Age things at all. So that part of it was never going to appeal to me. It's quite strange because I'm a spiritualist, but New Age is not something I'm ever drawn to. But there is enough going on around that I didn't mind it, but I definitely didn't love it. Peter and Katherine are successful. They have a lot of money. They clearly have good careers. And then at the beginning of the film, one of them quits their job and the other one is struggling with clients and not getting enough money. So suddenly they need to try and find a new way to make money. But while they're also trying to work that out, they're also having issues with their relationship. Things seem well when they're together, but then they're having relations with other people at the same time, to put it mildly. And there's not much else to it. I won't say much more than that, but obviously they have the New Age aspect as they meet other people, and the New Age aspect comes into it more and more as the film goes on, and that kind of meant that as the film went on, I lost a bit of interest. If you're into New Age things, you might absolutely, in fact probably will, love that part of it. But I just found that personally, as the film went on, it just became quite boring to me. And I didn't care for the direction it took, not just with the New Age aspect, but I feel like the narrative felt quite stale in places and it just wasn't moving forward at a rate that I quite liked. By the time we got to the end of the film, when I reflect on what happened, there's not a lot there. And I didn't really care for it. I feel like it is largely more a character-based film than a narrative-based film, and I don't mind that. I do like character-based films when the characters are good, and thankfully Peter and Katherine are really great characters. The performances are brilliant, and I really thoroughly enjoyed watching the characters, particularly when they're interacting with each other. Obviously, they're fine when they're interacting with other people, but I liked them as a couple, and I enjoyed their journey together, and I thought it was pretty well done from that regard. So it's not terrible, and I think there's definitely an audience for it. It is meant to be a comedy, and, well, a comedy and drama. I honestly didn't find it very funny. There were a few small things here and there, but I personally wouldn't say if you're in the mood for a funny film, this is going to be it, because I don't think it will be. But maybe it will be. Maybe the type of humour is just not appealing to me. So it definitely seems very up and down. There are some good aspects, mainly the characters and the performances. There are some aspects that are going to depend on personal interests, such as the New Age aspect. And then we have the narrative itself, which I actually think is quite slow and a little dry in places. So some good, some bad, some based on personal preference. I guess we can sum up by saying The New Age, in my opinion, is a pretty average film, but with some really great performances and well-written characters. If it sounds like your kind of film, I'd say check it out. It's probably worth the time, but for me, I wouldn't be watching it a second time. I think I completely forgot to say the reason I watched this film is because Patricia Heaton is in it, and I love Patricia Heaton. Definitely not in it anywhere near as much as I would like, but it was still nice to see her nevertheless.